guys, Cadenza here. Today I'm doing a tutorial on how to make hands-up melodies. Sorry for the mic quality and the screen recorder quality. I'm using my phone actually to record it, so I don't have any of those fancy mics. Alright, so I decided to make a tutorial on how to make melodies. Because I always thought that was the hardest part when I first started making music, was I didn't know how to make melodies. And all the tutorials I watched were really just undescriptive, because they'd tell you, they wouldn't tell you how to make a melody. They would just show you how to make a melody. One melody. They wouldn't show you how to make any melody. Like DJ Ness's tutorial, I remember that one. He just showed you how to make melodies, not how to make them. He just showed you him making them. So hopefully that makes sense. So that's why I'm doing this. And then a lot of people always say they like my melodies, so I figured it would also be, a plus. Alright, let's get started. To make melodies, first off you have to know music theory, so I'll go over that a little bit. You probably might know a little bit about music theory, but I'll just go the very simple version and I'll try and make it quick. So, all music, all songs are written in a certain key. Each song has its own key. For example, I think Piano Land and Jumper and like half of my songs are written in A minor, which are all these white keys. Those were just the songs that came to mind, but there's tons of other songs that are written in that, but these are the ones I just could remember, that they use all these keys. Then we have other keys, like minor keys, major keys, chromatic keys, but as far as I know, all Hands Up is written in minor keys. So we have A minor right here, we have A sharp minor, B minor, C minor, C sharp minor, D minor. D minor is probably my favorite. I just like the sounds it gives off. They just have different type of feelings to them. If you play a melody in different keys, it sounds a little different, but it sounds the same, but there's little differences you can tell. So that's keys. Let's see, now chords. Chords make up the chord progression, which make up the song. So this is a very popular chord progression. And then this would make up your bass line and stuff. There's many different chord progressions, and a lot of songs use the same chord progression. Most modern pop songs use the same chord progression. So, chord progressions, let's see what's next. Intervals. Intervals are the distance between a note from the other note. So, yeah, I'll just show you on the MIDI board. On an A minor, that would be 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and then an 8, that'd be the octave. And an octave is all the notes in the chord, the eight notes in the key, not the chord, the key. So, I think that's it for music theory. That's all you need to know is keys. You can only use those certain notes. Chords, those are what build the song, the progression of the song. And then intervals, that's what makes a melody interesting, is using certain notes. Like, that doesn't really sound good, but that might sound better. Or that might sound even better. It just depends, and that's how you make your melodies, is by going from here to here, maybe to here, all these different intervals. At least that's how I do it. Alright, I think that's it for music theory. Now we'll start the actual melody tutorial. So, I've made a couple of chord progressions. I've made this one, very simple chord progression. I hear it a lot in happy hardcore music. It makes a lot of happy melodies. I should probably change the tempo. Before, I just want to point that out. I had it at 150 for some weird reason. Most Hands Up is in 140, 146, around this range. I don't know why I had it at 150. We'll keep it at 140. Here's another chord progression I use. This is the very popular one. It's heard a lot in like DJ Splash's songs for sure, but Hands Up songs use that chord progression a lot. And then there's this one. We all know this one. At least I hope you know that one. That's actually the Pirates of the Caribbean theme. One of the songs uses that, only with more notes. And then that's also the Crying Soul from that one DJ Splash song. Sorry, I'm not using ASIO drivers, so my MIDI board's a lot delayed. Anyway, and then I have this chord progression, which is very similar to this one, only one note up. And that's from a DJ Mangu song. I can't remember the name, but it's my favorite song by him. And I can't even remember the name. Anyway, all songs and bass lines and melodies, they all come from the chord progression of the song. So we'll pick one. Let's do this one. Everyone uses this one. So that's how you make a bass line. People say they make a bass line. I heard a lot of people like S3RL makes the bass line first. I make the chord progression first, because once you make the chord progression, the bass line is really easy, because it's the exact part of the chord progression. The exact bottom part. So if you know the chord progression, you know the bass line. And then the melody is usually it follows these notes most of the times. Sometimes it doesn't, sometimes it does. Just depends. But I'll show you how I make melodies. So once I get the chord progression and the bass line, I just kind of start messing around, see what sounds good, and I go with it. So I'll stop talking and I'll just, hopefully you can catch on to what I'm doing. Okay, so it's kind of cool. It's not one of my favorite melodies. I could make a lot one better, but that's what I do. I make one, and then I put it aside and I make another, and then I put it aside and I make another, and then I see which one I like better, and I usually go with that one. So, and it's usually all based on the chord progression. This type of chord progression usually makes these types of melodies. So, I'm going to make one in this chord progression. And then I'll talk a lot more in this one, so you guys can get an understanding of what I'm thinking. So, I'm transposing the bass line to what I want. Okay. I like this chord progression because it makes a lot of happy melodies. It's one of my favorites. Now I start on this key because I start on one of these three keys. See, you don't really want to start on any of these keys. You want to start on either the tonic key, which is the main key in the chord, which would be the C. Actually, be the A, I think. You want to start on the main note that the first chord is on, or the other ones. Now, I know I went here and I put the note there because I know that if I put it here, it won't sound good. I mean, it might. I don't know. All about experimentation. See, I wasn't having much luck around here. I wasn't, or it's not luck, but I wasn't having much results. I wasn't having very good results with what I was doing over here, so I kind of just skipped to the middle, and I'm trying something new. And then I'll come back, and I can all fit it together. That's good enough. I'd probably make it a lot better, but for time's sake, I'm just gonna leave it at what it is. I really like this part here, though. I give it a lot more rhythmic stuff than just more of like this than just the one notes. But oh well. Let's see. Melodies. What's next? There's another way I make melodies, and that would be with the piano. So, I don't know how well it's gonna work with my ASCII drivers not being able to work, but I'll show you what I usually do. So usually I get a chord progression. You can either play that on the MIDI board and then put it in here, or you can build it here. And then I usually put a bass line in. And then after that, I write the melody. But I do it a little differently. What I usually do, let's see if I can. So then you get an idea going, and you just edit it a bit. Anyway, I could go on forever, but that's basically what it is. You use the MIDI board to get ideas out, and it's just a different way. It's what I used to do. I used to do it a lot when I was first starting, and it's very helpful actually, because you didn't really have to know anything other than pushing down random keys until you find something that sounds good. And I still do it every now and then. Not too often anymore, but it's very, very helpful when you're first starting. Alright, next, let's see. I think those are the two main ways I make melodies. It was just like that. I just kind of put the bass out there and then find the melody. Oh yeah, that's right. I was going to show you guys, a good friend of mine sent me a melody and he wanted me to fix it for him. So what I did was, I fixed it. But, I did it in a way where I showed him exactly what I did. And so I figured I would show you guys too. So here's his original melody. Yeah, so I remember I first heard it, I didn't think it was very good, but then I looked again and I thought it had a ton of potential in it to make a good melody. It just wasn't in the right notes. So I added a bass line to help with creativity, because it sounds better when you make a melody with a bass line. And then I changed the key. I transposed that up 2 notes so it would fit better with the bass line. I really didn't know what key this melody was in because it kind of had all the notes. So I just kind of took a guess and then fit it. So after that, I changed the notes so none of them were touching or were in the black ones, the sharps or flats, because my bass line is in A minor, which is all the white ones. And it sounds better. So it sounds a little better, but it doesn't sound good. It just doesn't sound bad. So then what I did after that, and that's what takes practice, is changing it to where it makes it sound good. So I changed the notes around well, there wasn't a correct interval, but to the correct spots where they would sound good. Anyway, so it sounds a lot better, but it's really the same melody. All I did was change the notes around. And that's what takes practice, is knowing which notes sound good and which don't. Knowing where to put the notes to make them sound good. So, after that, I got kind of tired of the bells, so I picked a different instrument. And then after that, it's a good melody, but I think it needed more rhythm to it, so I changed up the notes a bit. And then after that, you got yourself a song. That's pretty much all there is to it. I know I make it seem sort of easy, but it really is once you get it down. Practice. That's really all it takes. Is just tons of practice. Look at other melodies. Look at other people's melodies. Look up MIDI packs, techno trance MIDI packs, stuff like that, and then download them and just play with them a bit. Or find your favorite song and try and copy the melody from it into the MIDI or into the piano roll just by listening to it. Those little things you can do, they help a ton. They're so helpful for what you can do. I wish I had done a lot more of it. I would have gotten a lot better a lot sooner. But those really do help. And so I think that's the end of our tutorial. Hopefully you guys learned a lot. Tell me what you liked about it down in the comments. Tell me what you didn't like. Tell me what you think I should do better. and then maybe I'll do some more of these. I don't know. Depends on how good this one goes. But like, comment, subscribe, and thank you. I just wanted to thank you all for subscribing and supporting Cadenza. Alright, I'll see you guys later.